Welcome once again to the telecourse for you English teachers. I'm your host, Ruth Alido. So far, the episodes have been emphasizing all the language macro skills and methodologies that develop these skills. But skills, when taught, need content. In the teaching of reading, the best content is literature. And since we are teaching young people from ages 5 to 18, they need children's literature. To some, children's literature means fairy tales and coloring books. But is that all? You'd be surprised. Stay with us and find out. Don't go away. Welcome back. To pick up the question asked earlier, is children's literature simply fairy tales and coloring books? Let's have a look at this diagram. There are 5 general types of children's literature: traditional tales, poetry, fiction, informational books, and biography. Note that in this sketch, showing the umbrella-like range of children's literature, fairy tales make up only one of more than a dozen types of traditional literature for children. Coloring books do not even have a definite space here because they can be placed alongside any of the 5 general types of children's literature. This is a book entitled Gabi and the Encanto by Marla Yotoko Coringel. It is an example of a traditional tale retold by a present-day author. I say retold because the story's first author is unknown. Most traditional stories grew out of a race or culture, and the names of the old authors did matter to them. One well-known writer who has told many traditional stories is Nick Joaquin. Here, he has written the nth version of Cinderella, which he calls The Amazing History of Elang Uling. Other types of traditional tales are the legend, the fables, the parables, and folk tales, folk songs, as well as myths and riddles. There are also the so-called pourquoi stories. Pourquoi is a French word meaning why. Pourquoi tales then explain the existence of a certain natural phenomena. Traditional tales are replete with elements of magic. In these tales, there are magic wands, magic words and incantations, which are objects that are source of power and delight. Stories such as this are an extension of a child's need for play. They also enrich a child's imagination. The imaginative power of childhood is basis for creativity and the beginnings of dreams of future achievement. The next general type of children's literature is poetry. As young children, our first brush with children's literature is through nursery rhymes. Who has not heard of Humpty Dumpty or Little Miss Muffet? Later on, children learn to love nature poems and short verses about feelings and day-to-day experiences. Poetry, verses, simple rhymes, and catchy jingles fascinate children because they're always in awe of words. Children can deal with new, even unfamiliar words. They have an almost instinctive way of processing sounds and finding the meaning that they seek. Of what use is poetry to children? Children have an innate need for beauty and order. Listening to beautiful sounds, expressing lovely feelings, looking at lovely things help sharpen children's aesthetic and affective sensibilities. These are then the basis for good taste and predisposition to search for the finer things in life, including good breeding and poise. The next general type of children's book is a rich one. It is called fiction. It is such interesting reading because of its many various subtypes. Look at this fiction for children. The title is The Boy Who Ate Stars by Alfred Usen and illustrated by Beth Paroccia. Peter Pan by Sir James Barrie and the Narnia Tales by C.S. Lewis, as well as the J.R. Tolkien trilogy, The Lord of the Rings, are the finest examples of fantasy. But who has not heard of Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll? Fantasy tales not only nurture the imaginative power of childhood. Like adventure stories, they build and enhance the child's heroic impulse. Even a child dreams of doing great things. Stories of great deeds done by young people assure a child that he is just as capable of improving the world. Such stories also improve the self-concept of children who are more often than not told that they are always wrong and thus have a poor picture of themselves. Growing up stories like Ruth Krause's The Carrot Seed are about ordinary children achieving little things. Such stories also appeal to child's need to achieve and to need to belong. Stories of the disadvantaged and the disabled develop in the children a capacity for compassion and the spirit of tolerance and understanding of other people's plight. Stories of filial relationship answer their need to love and be loved. Animal stories are also a special kind of fiction.
The Barn Dance. Meow! 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 Did you hear? Cried Cat, waving his hat. There's going to be a barn dance. Roar. There is. Asked Bear. Do tell us where. Meow! In the barn. I'd like to ask is, meow, when? Moo! Not now, said Cow, adding with a smile. It's probably going to be after a while. We'll need some music, of course, said Horse. There'd be nothing to that, said he, in the greatest of great good humor. It's no trouble at all to start a rumor.
Many children enjoy stories where animals act and dress like people. Here are Look What I Can Do, an award-winning picture book by Jose Arguego, a Filipino who is well published abroad. Frederick, by Leo Leone, is another favorite. So is the story of the gentle bull, Ferdinand, as created by Munro Leaf. One book that combines the imaginative power of fantasy stories and the charm of animal tales is what is considered as the all-time favorite of children everywhere, Charlotte's Web by E.B. White.